Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is HyuN, and this is game number 2 of the quarterfinals between our red Zerg player HyuN up in the top left side of the map and the blue Terran player LucifroN down in the bottom right side of the map. Once again, this is for the DreamHack Valencia. And yeah, man, I mean, last game, HyuN just kind of completely slapped LucifroN into the wall. He just sort of raised his hand back a little bit further, then bam, and LucifroN was just taken off, man. He, I don't know, he really didn't stand a chance in that game. HyuN had a great build. It was Roachling with some Banelings mixed in there at the 10-minute mark. He didn't go overboard on the Roaches, he only had about 9 of them. He put everything else, every other bit of gas he could get into his Banelings. He had a third base, but he didn't really push out the economy too much. He had about 40 workers, and he just put the rest into his army, and it was such a great build, man. I was looking at it, I'm like, how the hell did he get that many units out by the 9-10 minute mark? It's just completely insane. If you didn't watch it, go watch it. Just right now, I don't mind. Pause the video, open the other one in another window or whatever. I'm sure your bandwidth can handle it, and watch it because it was freaking awesome. Anyway, this game, man, LucifroN is going to have to do something. He's going to have to do something to deal with that 10-minute Baneling Roach push. Assuming that HyuN does it again. But I mean, let's face it. He took out the STC with that build, and now he's taken out LucifroN with that build. So why the hell wouldn't you keep using that build against Terran players? Because it's obviously so good. Yeah, and it's going to be down to LucifroN. And I was saying last game, man, maybe Marines are the answer here. I mean, obviously Marines and bunkers are not going to help because Banelings just own them. But just Marines by themselves, just a crap load of Marines going out there doing some stuff, maybe. The only question is the Banelings. But if you got Banelings off creep, and if you got Marines with a stim pack, then you should be okay. You should be able to deal with those Banelings. I mean, as long as you stay away from the Banelings, you should be fine. Marines do okay versus Roaches, and they do okay versus Lings. Ling speed doesn't really get them anything because you run into the Marines and the Marines just shoot you in the face. I mean, Ling speed, what does it do? And you can get a lot of Marines very quickly, but you've got to have the stim pack to stim around the Banelings, and you could get out a few Hellions to try and snipe the Banelings, get a couple of Marauders out if you can, but just a core group of Marines out there, I'm talking like, I don't know, 12, 15 by the 10-minute mark. If he can, maybe a little bit less than that, but if he can make that work, then I think he can definitely counter that awesome build that HyuN just did. And I'm not saying for sure because I don't know for sure, but that would be my pick. My recommendation for taking care of that is got to be Marines with stim to be able to run circles around the Banelings. And then you start to maybe get the couple of Hellions that you used for scouting. If you've managed to save them, you start to hit the Banelings with them. You start to put the Marauders on the Roaches, try and wipe them down a little bit quicker. But yeah, something like that. And yeah, what have we got going on, man? He's LucifroN, man, going for an insane amount of economy, which I'm not sure I agree with at all, because right now, man, he does not need an insane amount of economy. He needs an insanely good plan to deal with this build, man. Assuming that HyuN is going to do it again, but I think he probably will. I mean, if your opponent completely owns you the previous game, they're probably going to have a crack at the same build, because one of two things is going to happen. They're going to own you again, or they're going to come close to owning you, and then they'll just have to back off and not win the game, but they'll still do a great job. I mean, it's not like paper, scissors, rock, or whatever it is. Rock, scissors, paper or something, where you use paper the previous round and you killed his rocks, and now the other guy's got to get scissors and you completely owned. It's not like that. I mean, that Roach Ling build, even if LucifroN does a beautiful counter, it's still going to be an even trade up. I don't think that LucifroN can actually get an advantage out of it if HyuN attacks with that. So I think he's probably going to try and do the same thing. He's actually going for really, really early stuff here. 6 Roaches and 5 Lings. This is very, very early. It's not as potent as it previously was, and I think with this beautiful placement here, and without the Banelings to bust down this wall, he might be able to hold this off. Actually, no, scratch that, he will be able to hold this off. And we can see the thing that LucifroN really has done is he started to get into the Marauders quite early. He's got 2 Marauders already. This is at the 7.5 minute mark. So great job by him there. He's definitely up with the Roaches, and he's got a fair amount of Hellions as well. So this is his plan, okay? So it's Marauder, Hellion, Widowmine. And I gotta say, that's pretty good, man. I was picking Marines, but this is not bad. This amount of Hellions, man. He keeps getting out the Hellions plus the Widowmines, takes care of the Lings. And these guys take care of the Banelings, these guys take care of the Lings, the Marauders take care of the Roaches. Although that's quite a lot of Roaches. So he's going to have to put in some hard work here to take these guys out. He's going to lose some workers, but a nice Widowmine hit there, plus the rest of these guys. 3 Marauders now at 4 Marauders. And that is going to put the end to the Roach pressure, man. And I got to say, really nice job there. I'm really liking this build from LucifroN. Give him another few minutes, he would have had a couple more Widowmines, a couple more Marauders, and a whole bunch of Marines. And I think that he may just have done what I thought he couldn't do, is actually gain an advantage when HyuN put in with that attack. He could have actually knocked him back and hit him so hard that LucifroN came out on top. He didn't quite do that here, but I think he kind of did. But then again, HyuN, I think he jumped a gun a little bit. He went in for a smaller force a lot earlier, and because LucifroN was preparing for that massive force, he was actually pushing out his forces a little bit quicker. Got a little bit better of an army at that point than HyuN would have thought he would have, and he managed to hold off the Roaches. And since it was mainly a Roach force, and he just had a crap load of Marauders, he was just like, this is easy, man. I eat Roaches for breakfast. And so there we go. He did have a very fine meal consisting of Roaches of some kind. And yeah, really great job for LucifroN. So he's in a good position to get into this game, and now he just has to start making a decision on the rest of his army. Does he want to go for tanks? Does he want to switch into more general triple M? Does he want to make up an entirely new tactic of Marauders and Widowmines? I don't know, maybe it'll work. The Marauder hit squad is going to do very well, and I mean, HyuN has to do something about this. I mean, Roaches, mass Roaches is not an option anymore. No freaking way is mass Roaches an option. So he's got to be thinking about Hydras. He's got to be thinking about massive amount of Lings and Banelings. I don't know, maybe some Mutatech, but Mutatech is a bit risky because, I mean, you can tech into Marines so easily if you're already set up for Marauders. It's just a little bit of a swap, and that's fine. We do have a starport coming down there, so I assume that's going to be for some medevacs. I mean, we can always hope it's for battle cruisers, but I mean, realistically speaking, we're probably not going to get it. And here we go, we've got Baneling speed on the way. We've got Ling attacks. They've been going for a while, but they're nearly finished. We do have a crap load of Lings. So it does look like we're going to be seeing Ling, Roach Ling, with an emphasis on the Lings. So a bit like what he did last game, but this time he's got to press it home. And this is going to work well because, yeah, I mean, LucifroN, I don't know what he's actually expecting, but we know that 5 minutes ago he was expecting Roaches. And if he's still expecting Roaches, he is going to be in a lot of trouble right now because it is mostly Lings with just a smattering of Roaches all over the place. And here we go. Look at how many are coming out. I am seeing an armory, so we may be thinking Hellbat drops here. Hellbat drops, pretty good. Pretty good idea. Getting down some workers. It definitely can't hurt. Look at the workers, man. LucifroN absolutely going nuts. That was from getting that very early 3rd command center that he only just started to move out. But he was building workers off that for so long. And look at these guys, man. They got Baneling speed just about to finish. I do not think that LucifroN knows about this. He's about to find out. A Marine comes up and he's like, hello. But yeah, here we go. Oh, Widowmine, man. What an awesome hit. Where is his Overseer? There it is. So that Widowmine is going to go down. And it's got the nice force there. The workers trying to get away, but they are all going to die, man. Maybe a couple will live, but the rest of them go. Stim Marauder Marine Pack is going to hit these guys nice and hard, but most of them just run away. I think pretty much the only units the Zerg lost were the Banelings that took out the workers, so really great job there. You shot him down like 20 workers right there in that attack, man. And that is why LucifroN is such a great player, man. He just goes in there. He sees a point where he's like, alright, I think I can make something happen here. And he just goes for it. He just sent his entire army in, just boom, went in there, hit the workers. And I mean, these guys were in a good position. But as soon as they move off the ramp, as soon as they get down here, they're all dead. Because there's too many banelings, and there's no way they can hold off against those banelings in a fight like that. So they can just take the higher ground with some widow mines backing them up and try and hold off there and probably do a good job. But if they go down the ramp, they're dead. So here we go, these guys going in once again. It's nice and closed off again, but there's no army. Oh, actually there is. LucifroN doing some very nice macro here. He's actually 26, 27 army in front. And LucifroN, HyuN is seeing that and he's like, oh, I gotta pick my game up, man. He's actually doing some stuff here. And here we go, gonna get some reinforcements. But look at this big snake, man. It is going all the way for those Terran forces. And he's gonna lift up most of them here. Well, you got at least one medevac full of guys. Oh, so close, man, but it's not really in danger anymore. Some Queens getting some transfuse down. They're going to be attacking this one as well. That is a 4th base from HyuN down the 15-minute mark. Not quite going to be able to take down. And the creep spread is getting pretty awesome from HyuN. He's almost got half the base, half the map taken out. Look at this guy, man. Is this the same guy from the start of the map? I don't know whether he's completely awesome or completely useless. I'm probably going to say completely useless. I am pretty sure even a blind person can see all those units buried. Maybe, I don't, obviously not. Oh, I guess once they're completely buried and they're not moving, you probably can't see them at all. I don't know, you can sort of see a little blurry little thingamy-bob. I think you can anyway. But yeah, man, ew, those guys, those poor guys. This is still pretty low, man. If you can get a nice solid drop in there to take that out, that would be awesome. I don't know if he needs it anymore. And the minerals are almost gone, but he still wants to mine gas there, and I'm still sure he still needs a lair for something. I can't tell if that's a lair or a hive. Look at that, man. Just lambs to the slaughter right there. Lambs to the slaughter. And look at this force, man. They drop down and then they get back up again, man. It's like it's like playing on a lava planet, except there's lava everywhere, and the lava knows where you are, and it follows you around when you try and step on the ground. It's like sentient lava or something like that. Muta's coming out, man. There's 9 more Mutalisks coming out, and we have transitioned into Mutaling in this game. So really, really freaking awesome. We can see that LucifroN is not completely unaware of the danger. He is getting a ton of Marines out. He's getting a fairly decent amount of Widow Mines out as well. So he should be able to get some very nice hits off on the Mutalists if he has a little bit of luck. But of course, I do not know if he's going to have that luck. There we go, planting some Widow Mines. He'd love to feed it back in. These guys are just feeding units right there, covering the Widow Mines so they can lay down. And then they're going to run back and everybody else comes in and the Widow Mines just go and just absolutely blow everything up. I know Widow Mines probably don't sound like that, but here he goes. He's finally moved in. He's thinking he's taken out a lot of stuff. Widow Mines getting some nice hits off, but these guys are running for their lives. They're getting some reinforcements. Widow Mines dropping down, but there's still so many lings around there, and the Widow Mines need to get some good hits off on the Mutalists, but they're not really doing it. All of their hits are getting off on the lings. And so far, the lings have been taking a crap load of damage, but the mutas have basically survived everything. However, 3 missile turrets are going to be scaring these guys away right here. And meanwhile, more reinforcements coming in for LucifroN. He's got to rely on his defenses here to try and save him, because army to army, he is just going to get completely owned. And so many lings up here. He needs something to directly counter the lings. He's got Widow Mines, but the lings just not grouping up as much as he would like. And meanwhile, the Mutalists feel good enough to start taking out some serious units, to go in there, start doing some serious damage. And this is starting to look like a game breaker right here. This is starting to look like LucifroN is just completely out of it. He's going to just have enough Marines here to scare away the mutas and the lings running away with them. But still, I mean, it's just, he loses so much, and then he just builds a whole crap load more, man. I don't think he even killed that roach, man. That roach has got so much health. Look at this drop here. I think he might have done a little bit. I think he killed a few workers, at least 5 or so there. But, oh, I managed to deal the hatchery down there, or the lair or something. So great job there from LucifroN when HyuN was a little bit distracted, managing to get that down. But the medevac isn't going to go down. is no longer safe to just lift units into your medevac when you have Mutalisks on the field. And looking at the units, man, 22 Mutalisks, and what do they have for upgrades, man? 1 weapons, but I probably will be getting out another weapon soon if you can afford it. And LucifroN, a little bit back up against the wall, but actually I thought he was going to land that, but there's a Ling underneath it, and that's probably pissing him off a little bit. So here we go, Mutas coming in, and they just want to wipe shit out right now. He's getting a few Banelings, but he doesn't have that many actually. He's been taking a lot into Mutalisk play. So his Ling army is quite a bit smaller than I would have expected, and this is actually going to be dangerous because with a very decent Marine army, if he can wipe out the Lings, Muta versus Marine, the Zerg player will lose so many Mutas, so he needs a massive Ling force to keep up, to protect this Mutas, to keep the Marines occupied while the Mutas do the real damage. And here he goes, we can see he was building 40 Lings, sorry. So he's aware of the danger, he's building up the massive amount of Lings that he really needs. I wouldn't be surprised to see him max out on Lings and then push in. There we go, 32 more coming out. And yeah, he's going to be pushing in once again. See if he can do some damage. LucifroN is quite a bit behind. He's 25 workers behind. He's got a lot of Marines though, and he's got a lot of Widow Mines. And this area is his little death pit over here. And he's trying to make this into a death pit as well, but I don't think he has quite enough Widow Mines. However, I think he should be alright. He's trying to wall off here. Here we go. This is the main battle though. Widow Mine's coming up. This Widow Mine, what's it doing? It hit a bunch of Banelings, so that's pretty good. The workers are mostly going to die once again. The Banelings going for the Marines, wiping them out quite a bit, but all of the Lings are gone. Some Ling reinforcements coming in there, but it's just a little bit too late. And yeah, those Marines holding off quite nicely. As long as the Marines survive the Banelings, Marines can threaten the Mutalisks so badly. And I mean, it's not like LucifroN has a not like HyuN has a massive amount of guys all over the place. He's building a massive amount, but he's losing a massive amount constantly. The Widow Mines are taking the hits, and the Marines are doing a great job as well. Just look at that. He leaves the Marauders behind to absorb the Baneling hits while the Marines just run away. That is some absolutely amazing micro right there. Singling out the Marauders to stay behind while the rest run forward. And speaking of which, it looks like LucifroN is making a push forward, man. If it was me, I'd be hiding on my base for the next 10 years after those attacks. But he's going to be pushing out. He's going to be saying, you cannot scare me into being defensive. I'm going to push out here and I'm going to do some damage. And HyuN's like, just give me a sec and let me build like 20 billion Lings and then I'll come out and say hi. Not ready for guests at the moment. And yeah, saving them in this medevac. Great play here. Bunch of Widow Mines up here looking to hit the Mutalisk maybe. Baneling's going to come in, but a nice stim to run away. And oh, the Widow Mine actually shot the Baneling while it was right next to the Marines, and the Marines all died from inadvertent Baneling explosion on the Marines, and that was bad. I think LucifroN is in a lot of trouble right there, and yeah, he really just got hit back. He was on the verge of being defeated, and that one Baneling hit, which killed like 6 or 7 Marines, really just pushed him over the edge. There we go, gives the GG straight away. He knows he cannot hold this base anymore, and this other base got forced back by a single Ling, as expected. And yeah, really, really solid play there from HyuN. Really, really awesome macro. Awesome macro from both players, I think. I mean, LucifroN being extremely aggressive with his own expansions, being extremely aggressive in the middle of the map, man. I mean, moving out here, trying to make it work, and he did so well. He just did not have the numbers on his side. I mean, HyuN had more economy, and he had more units. And there's just nothing that LucifroN could do about that. But I mean, if you look at resources lost down the bottom side, he was not overwhelmingly losing. He was giving back as much as he got. And in the end, that economic advantage that HyuN had was just too much. I mean, the attacks, the really great attacks down here, wiping out the workers, doing a fantastic job, getting the Banelings in there, knocking them out. Really, really awesome. And over time, it just gave HyuN an awesome, awesome advantage. And man, it's good to see a huge Muta cloud once again. I thought maybe they were a bit obsolete, but it's great to see them. And yeah, especially against Terrans where they got a ton of Marines and stuff. But yeah, the Mutaling still going strong. And yeah, I guess we have pretty much proven here, to some degree, that that Triple M plus Widow Mines is a viable counter to Mutiling. I mean, it used to be Triple M plus tanks, like Marine Tank, but Marine Widow Mine does seem to do the job to some degree. If you got enough Widow Mines, it does seem to do the job. And what's more, Widow Mines can hit mutas as well, so there's a bonus. I mean, granted, LucifroN lost, but he lost because of economy. He didn't lose because he had a crap unit composition. He had a beautiful unit composition to counter the Mutiling, and he did a really, really good job. So there we go. Unfortunately, he is out of the tournament, though. So there, our very last Terran player in this tournament, getting taken out. So it's a sad day for Terran players everywhere, but I am a Protoss player, and I still got 3 Protoss players left in the tournament, so yeah, it's going to be awesome. But HyuN will be moving on to face to be in the semi-finals. You face either Yu-Gi-Oh or Ghostswer, and we will be casting their quarter-final coming up next. So yes, that is going to be awesome. Second ZVZ in this tournament, and yes, all the ZVZs are starting to look pretty awesome, so we'll be looking forward to more of them. And then of course, since both those players are Zerg, a semi-final with HyuN is also going to be a ZVZ, so looking forward to tons of ZVZ action going on. And we've still got Jaedong in the second group against the 3 Protoss players, so maybe he can go on and make it a ZVZ grand final. I mean, who knows what'll happen in this crazy game? Although personally, I'm vouching for Stardust, man. Go Stardust! You can do it all the way. But yeah, let's move on. Let's get into the next quarterfinals. It will be Yu-Gi-Oh and Ghostswer, so that'll be awesome. And yeah, I will catch you guys then. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this game.